I spoke to your dad and he tells me that your friends don't believe you that your dad is friends with me, so here I am making this video for you, bud. So if your friends don't believe you, you can show them this video that I am good friends with your dad. This is actually me. Hi.
How's it going, everybody? Cyrax has returned from vacation. It's been a long 2 weeks, one of the longest vacations that Cyrax has ever taken in his life. Where has he been? Well, he's been cooped up in his attic. He's been running down to the living room, making sure he gets on Sally and Ed's nerves. It's been a fairly productive week. I mean, for most people, not really, but when you're getting closer and closer to grinding your grandma's nerves down till she finally gets you a new Xbox, that's goals right there, people. And you know what else is goals for Cyrax? Most people, after taking a 2-week break, they want to return to work, get back into the groove, refreshed and ready. And that's basically what Cyrax has done, but he's not going to work. I mean, he thinks he is. He's got back into music. He's got back into artwork. I mean, other people's artwork that he's taking. Cyrax is busy doing his real job, being an absolute nuisance on the internet, because Cyrax is getting caught up worse than he has in a long time. Just from taking a 2-week break, it's been discovered that Cyrax has been talking to 2 people that he shouldn't have. After getting into a relationship, the 2 started talking. She's like, hey, Cyrax, I really want you to meet somebody. I think you 2 would get along really well. She introduces the 2, and Cyrax and the person found something in common. Well, Cyrax found something that he deeply enjoys about her. The fact he shouldn't be talking to her, if you guys catch my drift. And this has led to some absolute meltdown. Cyrax is like literally in prime mode right now. And this has led to some absolutely chaotic moments, some insane rages. Cyrax is back. This might be one of the best we've seen out of him in a long time. We've even got classics coming back. We got Eric Scrubbelow, Cyrax getting caught up. I mean, everything. So I don't want to make you guys wait too much longer. Let's go ahead and get right into the video.
Just wanted to say, what's up. Hope you're doing good in school. Make sure you stay in school. It's completely important. Stay in school, get good grades, graduate. Graduate high school, that is important, man. Graduate school, stay in school, that is important. Your education is so important. So stay in school, little dude. And yeah, hope you're doing good, bud. And yeah, be safe, be easy, and be good. And don't do like I did when I was your age. Stay out of trouble, please. Thank you. And yeah, I hope you have a good one, bud. Currently, as of today, on week 3 of my recovery back to a normal life, which so far is going good. Like, it's going really good so far. I've just been spending time with family, friends, loved ones. Mentally, I'm doing great. Like, I'm doing really good as of right now. I just recently got back into playing some old school games like Castlevania. Started playing the Castlevania games again, which is a good game series. Absolutely love it. One of my personal favorites, actually. And if you've never played Castlevania, I highly urge you to play it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I've been jumping back into my artwork a lot more lately, which is actually fun. I've pretty much jumped back in full time into that. Started writing and recording music again. I was gonna come back and start doing content again, but I talked to my family and my loved ones, and right now, until further notice, I'm stepping away from that and just focusing strictly on my artwork, recording music, all that fun stuff. So yeah. And the reason why I'm making this update is because I feel like you guys deserve, my friends, my fans, my supporters. I feel like you guys deserve to know everything that's going on.
So guys, I don't even know how this slipped my mind in the intro, but Cyraxx, when he was talking to that high schooler, I guess there was somebody who was like, listen Cyraxx, I think you're a really good person. Every single night you're raging out. I know it's from a good place. I know you're just doing it to fight the bad guys in this world, and that's something my youngin really needs in its life. I really think you could push him to greater limits than he's already at. And Cyraxx sit back and said, you know what, man? Yeah, I think you're right. You know, I'm one of the best high school students of all time. That's why I was there for so long. You know, I was there till I was 21 for no other reason than that. I was like a staff member almost. I was there to make sure everyone else did what they was supposed to do. And then he jumps on video call, and guys, this is the most joyful Cyraxx has been in like forever. I have never seen him this happy as he's sitting there giving this false motivational speech to basically nobody, I'm imagining. It was probably the same dude. All while you guys know in the back of his head, he's got to be thinking, I should not be doing this right now. If I get caught up about this, I'm going to hear it for so long. But Cyraxx still went through with it. Like, the only other time you see Cyraxx this happy is after he's been on panel for a long time and he's had a good rage. He's sitting back, he's dormant, he's like, you know what? Everything's alright, you know, I burnt the bridge, that means I ain't gotta deal with it anymore. Then he wakes up, figures out the person is kinda useful to him, and he's like, wow, I can't cross that bridge anymore? That's a sneak attack, man, they betrayed me, Blind Billy-esque. And speaking of things that Cyraxx had no business taking, it turns out that Cyraxx is now into music again, which he's definitely not stealing from anybody this time, 100% guys, it's not happening. After a good 2 weeks, he's finally found his groove again, he's back. And he's got some brand new motivation, stuff we never even thought about. He told us he's been hanging out with the family a whole lot more recently. That means he's been in the living room doing his performances for Sally and Ed. And Sally couldn't even believe the words coming out of her mouth. She's like, Cyraxx, it's time to go upstairs and start making videos again. Go on, back upstairs. And Cyraxx, he's like, you know what, Mom? You know what, Ed? I just want to thank you guys so much. Because without your support, your care, hey, you better calm down over there. Hey, I ain't gonna take that much more. All right. You know, Sally said break, you know, and then they got back to normal. He's like, guys, I couldn't do this without such a supportive family. As Sally slams the door, throws a lock in place, and just like Frankenstein when he created his monster, she slowly wanders downstairs or back to bed, wondering how she could have created this monster, what went wrong, but now she's got to deal with the consequences. And that's not exactly how the story goes from there on, but you know, we're going to embellish a little bit.
I'm not okay about it. And it's not anything I did, it's something that happened to me. It's something that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. And that is that I've been lied to. I've been used for clout. You see, back in March, shortly after me and my ex Kira broke up, I was going through my message requests one day on my Facebook, just scrolling through, seeing who messaged me, who didn't, all that fun stuff. I met this girl named Yura, who was from Russia and then moved here to the States. But you know, just as friends, we got to know each other. And then, you know, eventually we stopped talking for a while because, you know, life got in the way and shit happened. Well, fast forward to a few weeks ago, we ended up talking again and just picking back up basically where we left off. And then as of a few days ago, we ended up together. You know, we were living our lives, spending time with each other. She introduced me to her friends. I introduced her to mine. You know, everything was good. But over the last couple of days, some really f***ed up shit started happening. How me and him figured out that all this shit that was going on was a lie. He asked me about the situation from the other night. And did I see any cop cars pulled up? I was like, yeah. Like a police officer did show up. I did see an officer go in there. Or what, you know, appeared to be a police officer. And he was like, do you know what kind of car it was? I was like, not exactly. Why? He was like, did you get a photo of it? I was like, I didn't, but she did. She sent me a photo. You know, after, you know, the fact. I don't know why she sent me a photo, but she sent me a photo of the police cruiser. And if you guys know anything about cars, they stopped manufacturing Crown Victoria's police issue ones, at least, or just in general, in early to mid 2011, which is what the car was.
There is so much wrong with this story, guys. Let's just start with the most obvious one. Eric Scrubolo has talked to so many of your detractors, Cyraxx. I don't know why for a second you would believe that he's your friend anymore. He was probably just bored. Eric Scrubolo doesn't have a lot to do anymore, so he's just like, you know what, I wonder what's going on with Cyraxx. And he's like, well, I guess if anyone's gonna talk to him, I guess I can. I used to be friends with the guy, so he got into contact with you. And for some reason, you believed it was all cool again when Eric Scrubolo knew for a fact you was talking to someone you shouldn't, which was the biggest reason he stopped being friends with you in the first place. And the second, like a Chris Chan lesson, and it's not even a Chris Chan lesson, it's something anyone in the world should know. If you're talking to somebody and it gets elaborate for no reason whatsoever, it's not real. You know, you should never really date off the internet. It's probably not the best idea in general. There's been some people, I guarantee you a good bit, who's met their partner off of the internet, but let's be for real here. It's not the best idea, so if something gets crazy, it's just time to move on. But Cyraxx, he hears it's going wild, there's police there all of a sudden. Well, now he's interested and he's got to investigate, throws the little cap on, he puts the tobacco pipe in his mouth, RIP Cobra, and gets to work. He's never put that much effort into his life in general.
All I ever wanted out of life was a family to settle down with. That special someone that I could come home to at the end of the day after doing my job and spend time with them, my kids if I have any, you know. But no, all I get is lied to, used, walked on, stepped on. And I'm tired of it. I want to be happy with somebody, but I want it to be f***ing real. I don't want it to be fake. I want to be able to do what I love for a job. And when I'm done with that job, I want to be able to come home to that special somebody and my children, knowing that that person is by my side and get to spend time with them. And, you know, if I ever have kids in the near future, you know, spend time with my kids and my children and just have a normal life. Like, I know a lot of you guys accept me for me and who I am, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly. I do. But I want to be happy. I want to be with that special someone that I can come home to at the end of the day, knowing that I have my dream job in the bag, and her and me and our hopefully soon, you know, one day kids are taken care of and they don't have to worry about not having clothes, not having food. I just don't get it. I asked you one thing and you couldn't even do that for me. I asked one thing of you and you couldn't admit that you were wrong. You thought that you were right, but you weren't. Yura's not the bad guy here, Ethan. I see now that the bad guy here was you. And it breaks my heart because I called you my brother. I called you my best friend. You betrayed everyone by doing what you did. The fact that you couldn't even listen to those voice messages without thinking you were f***ing right. You didn't even listen to them with an open f***ing mind. You listened to them on 2 times speed and then left the group. When all I asked of you men was to please have an open mind, to put all the bullshit aside, and to allow Yura to explain. And you couldn't do that. And I'm sorry things had to end the way they did, but what else can I expect from somebody that doesn't have anybody else's but his own interest at heart?
I can just imagine Cyraxx coming home like Patrick from that one episode of SpongeBob where he goes and sits in the chair and his wife's, "Where have you been all day, honey?" He's like, "Oh, hard at work. Been super hard at work." And it's just been Cyraxx sitting up in the basement or the attic the entire time watching TV, but instead of ripping the walls down and finding diapers, it's just a bunch of things he's stolen from other artists. But for real, Cyraxx, you don't do anything all day. You just sit up in your attic the entire time waiting for the next day to happen and the next day to happen. And you know what? When the next day happens, you're going to be doing the same exact thing. There is no going to work for you. It's literally living in an imaginary life. You'd think you would start from step one and slowly start trying to build up, but no, Cyraxx is just like, I've got to have a family right away. That's why he's rushing into all of these marriages with these fake people. And do we even have to point out how dangerous it would be if you were to have a family, Cyraxx? You don't need anyone that you can take care of. You can't even do that yourself. Maybe Cyraxx has top men who handles that for him. Top men. Because he sounds like a mafioso enforcer or something in the middle of this. Maybe someone who's going against John Wick in the movies. Later on, he's going to go to say that he's been watching movies because he's feeling nostalgic. I would guarantee you that he's been watching The Godfather, and this is where that talk is coming from. Oh, and I'm just going to give a fair warning. The next couple of segments are going to be incredibly confusing. I was confused watching them myself. I was like, should I reorder these? But no, I'm going to leave them how Cyraxx was. These were the chronological order of how Cyraxx was making these videos, so I'm going to give you the rundown of what happened. So Cyraxx was in a relationship with a fake Russian woman. As mentioned previously, she put Cyraxx into contact with someone that he shouldn't. He got exposed. She had a convoluted story that him and a guy, Ethan, I guess like deduced that it was a crazy story. She somehow convinces Cyraxx, like of course, after all of that, like you're Cyraxx, you should know to stop immediately. This is not working out. She is not real, but she somehow convinces Cyraxx at this point that she doesn't fake. She's 100% real and Cyraxx was just confused. So now Cyraxx has ended a relationship with this guy named Ethan, and now he's going to go on to beef with Eric Scrubolo about the same thing, but he's also going to be mad at the same girl we were just previously talking about, the Russian one. It's going to be confusing. Just know he's yelling at everybody. He's mad at everyone right now. He's going to be defending them as well. It makes no sense, but he's mad.
Eric Scrubolo, who is a former friend and a former label owner with me, decided it would be funny to run his mouth about me behind my back. And to Eric, all I have to say to you is this, man. All these years of working with you, working beside you, befriending you, being a brother to you, you know, through good times, bad times, and you choose to do this and side with these scumbags, and it's not cool, man. It's f***ed up what you did. If you want to run that route, that's on you, brother, because I know who my real friends and family are, and you're not one of them. If anything, Eric Scrubolo, you're dead to me, and I hate saying that, but you made your choice. But other than that stuff going on, I'm doing pretty good. It does hurt to know that Eric chose to go that route. That does hurt. But I'm doing okay. I'm staying strong. I kind of been feeling a bit nostalgic today, so I've been watching old shows that I grew up on and shit. I found out why she did what she did. She understood why, you know, I was mad and this and that and the other. You know, and she apologized, and so did I, because I will admit, when I went off on her, I was a little bit heavy-handed. I will admit that, and she understood why. But, you know, to anybody wondering, yes, you know, me and her worked things out. She's told me everything. I know everything. I know what's going on. But to my friends that were apprehensive, you know, I really do hope that, you know, you guys would be accepting of her. Like, I know some of you guys are already, and I'm very appreciative of that. You know, understand that she has a past. She has f***ed up. We all have. And I just hope that you guys can see past, you know, all the stuff that's gone on. Because she's proven to be loyal to me. She's proven, and I've watched her firsthand stand up to a bunch of trolls that she didn't even know, that came in to our Discord server and started running their mouths. You know, forget about the shit that's gone on. Forget about all the shit. And, you know, just, you know, give her a chance to start fresh. Because that's all she wants. Is a chance to start over fresh with you guys.
What a surprise, Cyraxx. The same guy, you know, the same guy who talked to your detractors beforehand still doesn't like you. Huh. What a big shocker here. And it's so crazy that Cyraxx has already started telling people, like, listen, I know these two fans of mine that will not ever say they're my fans, but I know they're out there. I want you to forgive my girlfriend. You know, her story doesn't make sense at all, but I believe her. Why do I believe her? I don't know. So now, guys, I want you to think about it for a second. Why might Cyraxx be like, okay, I've got to get back into this relationship at all costs? I wonder why. You know, normally this would be like a big red flag, but Cyraxx had a different goal at the end of the tunnel. He saw something that he actually desired. It's the person that she put him into contact with. If he loses contact with them, well then this was just a failed mission in its entirety. You know, we can't have that happening now, so we gotta take the full-on risk.
And you know what hurts the worst out of all this shit? Is you, Eric Scrubolo. "14 years of being your best friend. And then you turn around and stab me in the f***ing back. After I gave you a fair f***ing chance when everyone said not to give you a chance. I sat right there and said, nah, that. I'm gonna take a chance on this dude. I'm gonna give this guy a shot. Why? Because I saw something in you that no one else did. I saw talent in you. I saw a good person. I saw somebody that actually had skill on the mic. I actually saw somebody that had real potential to do great things. You turned around, you turned tail, and you ran. And now look at you, siding with the enemy. And to Yuta, I know that Yuta isn't even your real name. I know that for a fact because I've done my research. Even though you didn't deserve my help, you should be bowing down to me and thanking me, because even though you didn't deserve it, I did you a favor. And you know, I know what that favor is? Exposing your little fake ass friend Moon as a false friend, as a fake friend. But guess what? I've been playing you since day one when you started messaging me. Since day one, I have been playing your ass for a fool. Why? Because I wanted information, and I knew that you were in with that group. So what did I do? I devised a plan. When you asked me to be your boyfriend, I knew that was the biggest opportunity I had to gain information out of you. To gain information on what was going on. And little by little, day by day, you fed me information that I needed. And basically what's going on is my ex Yura, which I already know that's not her name. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'm working with one of my homies to figure that out. Had one of her little friends, Moon, start hitting me up and messaging me and shit. And I assumed by the photo that she had up that she was of age. Had no idea. Had me, doing certain things, all to find out that she's underage. This kind of shit has got to fucking stop, dude. I am 34 years old, about to be 35 next month. I don't fucking need this shit. I am sick of it. So like I said in my last post, if you're under 18, I don't give a who the you are. I am banning you and blocking you from my shit. Every one of you that does that shit deserves to have your internet taken away. You deserve to be locked up. Cause y'all motherfuckers is what's wrong with the internet today. Every one of y'all. So like I said, if I catch you slipping, I'm gonna block you.
So just in case you guys don't know, I remember watching a video of Eric Scrubolo a very long time ago, so my memory might be a little bit fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure it's not. That speech Cyrax was giving in the beginning about how Eric Scrubolo had so much talent, and Cyrax just watched him fall from graces. People even told him not to give Eric a chance, but Cyrax did it anyways. If you guys don't know, this is the same thing Eric Scrubolo said to somebody that he always told Cyrax to give him encouragement, to keep him going strong. And every time he'd say it to him, Cyrax would just spark right up and get to work. And as soon as their friendship ended, Cyrax just stole that speech from him and started using it himself. And when it comes to his ex-girlfriend, who he's now furious at, he had just forgiven her after seeing that she betrayed him in the first place. But he's now flip-flopped again. I told you it gets a little bit confusing, but now she's public enemy number 1. But don't even worry about it, guys. Cyrax has been playing her since day 1. He's seen through her lies. He didn't get fooled once. This is like Mission Impossible. But when Cyrax reveals he pulls off his face mask, it's just Jay Fogelite under there, because Cyrax goes on to say some of the most classic rack stuff we haven't heard in a long time. He jumps on the internet and he's like, listen guys, the pickle man has tricked me again. It's happened all over again. I was on the internet and this person named Moon, not a suspicious name at all, a pseudonym for Moon Knight, multiple personalities I guess, because she wasn't who she said she was. She apparently was a trickster, and you know what? This isn't my fault again. This is like the 15th, 30th, 45th, it's the 43rd time this has happened this year, and it's still not his fault. He promises it's not his fault, and he'll never do it again. But, so this doesn't happen anymore, he would like to make sure that girl goes to jail for the rest of her life. No ifs, ands, or buts, she's gone. Because it doesn't matter how much Cyrax does it, it's the other person's fault. And it's so funny, he's like, I am 34 years old. I am sick of this stuff. I can't take this no more, man. I am not, as a 34-year-old man, going to be getting on the internet only for these these people that shouldn't be online anymore coming and getting into contact with me. It's just not fair. It's just not right. And you know what, guys? Where I'm at, it's perfectly fine because the law says it's okay. And you know how many times I've been investigated by them. They say it's alright too, so you guys should just leave me alone. Completely ignore the moral aspect of it, everything involved that's just horrendous about his actions. Forget about it all. But I guess that's enough for me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys next time.